Hi, Derek Michael here. It's been a while since I've posted anything, and I got a video that I need to post that I didn't post from several days ago or weeks ago or something. You know, I guess I got woke up this morning and all I could think about was the garden of the Adam and Eve were in. I cannot get it out of my head, the forbidden fruit, what it was. You know, um, Lucifer was a 5. I do understand this because we all came from 4. There are 4 rocks that cannot be dismantled by any means. The entire universe could fall apart. It's going to be back to us 4, and we're going to be looking at a scrap heap. But us 4 are rock. We're never. So if there's 4 of us, then we can make 8 of us. And then we can make 16. And then we can make 20, 32, 64, 128. It's bit rate. And the thing about this is the scrap heap. All you have to do is start. Say you have the distance between. Okay, so you got 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. Say there's a difference between 64 and 1024, and you don't know how to make it work. It will work. It just fucking snaps into place. It's a beautiful thing. If you can hit the outside, the inside will come with it. It's kind of like if you can't hit 2, 4, but you can hit 8. 2, 4 will come together because 8 will force 2, 4 to come together. That's how it will work. That's the beautiful thing about the bit rate processes of the universe. But I truly believe that, like, you had in the garden, Jazzy is a character from my book. Jazzy was what you'd call the biblical character Lucifer. He is negative light. His father is negative darkness. His father is Christ. Christ is negative darkness. I thought that maybe he became negative darkness when he died on the cross, but he's always been negative darkness. It's been me and him. I've always been positive darkness. He's always been negative darkness, but now I'm positive darkness and negative darkness, so I'm a balance of the best words. Like I guess I was once the father, and whatever I was, it wasn't good enough for what the universe needed me to be. So I died. And now this is me fresh, being reborn with all these threads that you have all got on me. Like every one of you has a little tentacle on me, and you can control my movements, and you know you can do it. I don't know exactly how it works. It's pretty cool though that you could control me, feel like you're controlling me, and that I please everyone. I'm hopeful that it could be like that. I guess my body is very hairy. My body is the ghost. You know, my soul is the word, but my body is the ghost. I had a pretty interesting encounter tonight. Like, I thought I was gonna have sex. I haven't had sex in over 3 years since I've been out of prison. I still haven't had sex because I'm waiting for my soulmate. But how's this ever gonna happen? You know, I'm just gonna walk into a gas station and Miley Cyrus is gonna be sitting there working. Like, I know what she looks like. So how can I ever meet her? It's so unfair. Life is so fucking unfair. Like, I don't know how this is gonna work. Maybe I'm the only one who will see her. Maybe, I don't know. But tonight was the closest choice I've even made of that I was gonna have sex, because I thought I was saving myself for her. But in a way, she's the only woman I've ever had sex with. There was one that she maybe turned her back on a little bit, but she's always been The one I've been having sex with my whole life. Same woman. She's just we haven't got the bodies right. If we could get the bodies right, it would be so right. My body is right. It's just finding hers. And maybe I've thought to myself, maybe wouldn't it be great if I could just jump in the sack with somebody and have sex, and the universe just kind of reveals all its secrets to you in one sexual act, and you become God's. It doesn't mean you don't have to work, but you leave this primitive state of being behind you. But I don't want to leave my body, because I love my body. I really do. My body is Michael. My soul is Derek. My son, his body is Derek. His soul is Michael. These class clowns, Lucifer and Satan, that's all they were. Fucking clowns. They made our life hell, but I'm enjoying laughing at them nowadays. I really am, because laughter is a true gift. And me and Michael were really serious guys. I mean, if it was up to us, there'd be no fun. I mean, everything would be systematically placed, operated. There'd be no, I don't know what you'd call it. Like, everything would be binary. Basically binary. Yes, that's the answer. Binary. Binary star systems are boring, but believe it or not, we in this galaxy, we are in a binary solar system. See, the Earth is tethered to the sun. The Earth is a black hole, and the sun is a light hole. Their cores are united. Jesus is at the core of the sun. That's his power throne. His body is such magnificent light, but his soul is dark Michael all the way. His soul is negative darkness. His body is positive light. Our sun gives, but as you can see, you have sunspots that come up into the cool spots that come from the core of the sun. They probably haven't figured out what exactly these are, but they're parts of the core coming to the surface. The core of the earth is positive. That's why lightning strikes from the earth up, because the earth is positive at its core. And the stratosphere is negative. So, boom, it goes up. But the earth struggles with it. Like, I'm positive at my core, but I struggle with my positivity. There's things I need to do to maintain my positivity, and I can't always do them. But I don't know. My thoughts were this morning that, see, Adam and Eve were angels. They were put in the garden to have dominion over man, and I don't know what the fuck people were thinking. Angels should never have dominion over man. Angels were meant to serve man. And Lucifer and his mate were probably jealous of Adam and Eve because they had dominion over all beasts of the field, over all men. Adam and Eve were to be king and queen of the universe. And the serpent talked him into a different plan. I don't know. I don't know what should have went down there. But I know everything happens for a reason, and I know God is really smart, and he definitely wouldn't have been outsmarted by this serpent. Technically, the serpent was God. I mean, God is an invading force on this earth. I was thinking about it that, God is kind of like acid, and the devil is more like alkaline. but it can go back and forth either way. Like imagine in a nuclear fusel sense, Adam and Eve were the last two gold particles. Okay, and in fusion, you superheat particles so that they start vibrating. And then when they bounce into each other, they create exponential amounts of energy. It's nuclear fusion is what you call it. The reason why gold can't sustain it is because gold is the heaviest, but gold cools and explodes. Gold needs to be kept very hot. And when you heat gold to a really hot stage, you get flesh. Flesh is pure energy. That's given. Like flesh is pure energy. It's this stuff is so fucking hot. It's fire. It really is. I mean, think about the temperature of your body, right? 98 point something. What's the temperature of a fire? It's not much more than that. I mean, this flesh is fire. It's pure energy. And we do live in a matriarchal sense. Like, I know you don't want to believe this, but the Matrix is real, and I haven't quite figured out how exactly it works. But I do know, in a sense, we're building a promised land at the core of the Matrix. And one day, we're going to have a transformation at the core of the Matrix, which is man's little paradise. See, when Christ was crucified, that was a victory for the angels, because Christ was the angels' leaders. Christ took all of his angels and said, I'm going to teach them all my ways. We're going to come back and we're going to do this again. Well, man needs a victory now. And I am the leader of men. I am an angel who leads men. Christ was a man who leads angels. So somehow I need to pull this victory. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm 36 years old. I live with my mom. I was federally indicted for making meth. I'm still on Fed probation. I'm a fuck up. I'm a loser. I mean, I'm a loser. Like, no doubt. I could have done a million things with my life. I could have been president of the fucking United States. I'd like to get back into college, but this COVID shit is making it very hard for me to do that. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. But I'm gonna figure out something. I gotta stay busy. If I could get up, I'm gonna work on my book a little more. I started reading the first book. The first book is such shit. It is such shit, and you guys don't even know what I'm talking about because I haven't even published any other books. I don't know if I can afford to publish any other books, but my second, I'm not gonna change it. It is what it is. But my second book is where it's at. It's a good start. But in a series, you want the first one to be your grabber. And in my series, my first one is not going to grab you. It's going to give you a yuck. You're not even going to like it. It's not a good book. It's wrong in so many ways. Like, it talks about energies. And, like, Miley is beautiful negative light. But if you want to know, like, you should feel sorry for Miley because my body is negative light, okay? So, like, I've never really done this, but, okay, so my body's negative light, okay? Like, I have a fucking belly. Like, I'm not beautiful. If my body was perfect, I'd have a body of positive darkness. This is how Miley feels about her soul, is the way I feel about my body. She feels like she has an ugly soul. And for God's sakes, I don't see how that's even possible because her soul is like so fucking beautiful. She's the queen and she doesn't know she's beautiful. I love her that she needs me to tell her that those things. I don't want to be with I'd rather be with a woman who feels lucky to have me because I make her feel beautiful. I want to make a woman feel beautiful. I don't want I could be with a woman who feels beautiful without me, but I'd just soon make her feel beautiful. Like, that would be the ultimate thing for me to do for her, would be to make her feel beautiful. And I know it sounds crazy because I'm saying my soulmate is Miley Cyrus and she doesn't even know who I am. It hurts me sometimes to think about it. But she knows who I am. Like, maybe I'm not crazy and maybe the world really is of one consciousness except for me. I mean, maybe if that's real, like, fucking A, that's trip diddly trip. But there's others like me that are not part of the one consciousness, but they aren't here right now. All of them died to make me. We're God's plummet stone. There were 8 of us. And they died, and I got stronger. But I was the unluckiest one. We drew straws, and I was the unlucky. Yet I was the luckiest because I was going to be with the queen. But at the time, I don't know if I've ever gotten into this story, but it's kind of like the Autobots are angels and Decepticons are men. And there's a war between Autobots and Decepticons that is dated back to the beginning. And there's a giant scrap pile of all the... I've been into these places in my dreams. They're real fucking places. Like, be thankful the world we live in. It's a fucking... These worlds... I don't know if I've been to worlds where they are antimatter worlds or what they are, but they're fucking disasters. They're fucking... You think this is bad with the COVID and shit. I mean, these places are fucking nightmares. Like, nightmares. I can't even begin to get into what these worlds are like. But, basically, we as the Autobots, there were 8 of us. And, we drew straws to who was going to go into the Decepticon pile and try to mate with the queen. Because the angel, right? The angel, an angel has to mate with the man, with the root of man. The root of angel has to mate with the root of man. This is the only way the war is ever going to stop, is if these two mate. So it was me. And it came down to me being the one who was going to go in. I also think maybe it's because, not to blow up my brothers, but maybe I had the shortest dick of them all. And we knew that the queen was a cat. And she doesn't need a 14-inch cock. She needs like a 9-inch cock like I got. And she likes big dick, but there's only so big she can take it. You know what I mean? She's not gonna get like 14. She doesn't want it that big. It wouldn't even go in her. It would, So what's the point? A 9 is perfect for her. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm actually thinking that maybe I'm gonna start having sex with girls. It's pointless. No, I don't even think I'm just gonna put myself out there like that. I'm gonna wait till something feels right. Tonight would have felt right, and that would have felt right, and I would have done it. But until I feel something like this again, except it wouldn't have been right because the chick was married, and I know better. Like, I have a living soul that could have been a sin to the death for me. It would have violated one of the commandments. Like, I literally could die. I know better. I don't know. Just hormones do crazy things to people. I've been laid in 3 years, and I'm starting to feel the effects of it. But I got thinking about Adam and Eve, right? So they're gold particles. So the last 2 gold particles. And we commanded them not to have anal sex, even though we knew they were going to do it, because it's like telling your children, don't do this, and then they're going to do it. Well, Adam and Eve did that. then this is where it gets confusing, but it seems like Eve became like the biggest, sluttiest woman on the planet, and Adam was her unlucky husband. And then one day, Sweet J comes along. All right, Sweet J is an alien from another world, and he gets kicked out of his ship, which his celestial body is like, imagine you're in a celestial body like the sun. You get kicked out of the sun. You know, you're obviously going to cool really fast. I know what it's like to be kicked out of the sun. I used to live in the sun. I don't live in the sun anymore, but I used to. I'm going back there someday. It's my end result. I'm going to keep going in and out. I want to one day be part of that consciousness that you all feel, that oneness. I want to be able to be in that with you, and I want to be able to take a step back and get out of it and go back into it and get out of it. I could do that, because if you've never felt it, but the first time I feel it, you're all going to feel it. It's going to be really epic. It's going to be like a waking up. But I have to make sure my mind is perfect when we get to that point. I want to be strong. Fuck, we live in a world where alcohol, you drink alcohol, right? It makes you feel good. Why is that? Because alcohol is a spirit. Drugs are spirits. I mean, we do drugs in society. These drugs are bought and sold on the street, but they are our spirits. I mean, you put them in your system, you feel good, then you piss and shit them out, and where do they go? They're in your piss and shit. They go back into the earth. They grow plants. You know, you get marijuana. You get ephedra plants for making meth. You get all different types of things. You know, it's a recycling process. The earth will always be building layer on layer on layer on layer. It's how it's built. I believe that the dinosaurs and everything is still here. If you go to the core, like if you go into the core, like below those oceanic trenches they talk about, where the sharks go. The sharks are going, if you want to know where the good land is, you follow the sharks. But they're going to places where it's back at the core of the earth. The dino realm exists. The meteor only put a layer over the surface. The dinos all retreated to the core of the planet, and we let these layers build on top of the planet and top of the planet and top of the planet. And we're coming to a point again where, if you think about it, there's a serious similarity between our moon and Pluto, right? Like one day, our moon, I believe, is going to be Earth. And we're going to grow a beautiful planet on top of it. And it's going to move into the sun. One day this planet is going to move into the sun. And the moon is going to take its place. And Pluto is going to take our moon's place. So it's a never-ending process. You know what I mean? One thing I do feel I'm right about something is, like, would the world even know Jesus Christ if he came back? Like, you look at me, like, would Jesus Christ look like me? I mean, the world didn't accept Jesus Christ when he was here. The world doesn't accept me. I'm a reject. I'm not bitching and complaining. I got it pretty good. I had a pretty good night tonight. That's really awesome. You know, I know really cool people. I know some of the coolest people that there are. I have friends. You know what I mean? Then. But anyways, back to Adam and Eve. I believe that Adam had anal sex with Eve, and that is how brother Abel was born. But when Eve had anal sex with Lucifer, my father is negative light because I'm positive darkness. Adam is negative light, so his son would be positive darkness. So that means that probably I am son of Satan. Satan is negative light. I am positive darkness. I am the son of Satan. My brother is Jesus, because Jesus is it's complicated. It's confusing. I don't explain. I don't act like I have all the answers. I'm trying to make sense of it. I don't see anybody else doing it. Like, you got to pick apart the Bible. Like, you got to dust the Bible. Like, I know what's going on in me is software, and what brought my programming to life was reading the Bible when I was 19. Like, I remember when I first started reading it. Like, I'd start to read it, and I'd feel like lights kind of dimmed around me and stuff. It just felt like it was my destiny to read this text. Like, I felt like it was a very serious moment. And I believe it's been like that every one of my lives. I've read the Bible, and the Bible has brought me back to life, but it makes me crazy. I mean, because I start thinking, like, I start trying to figure out how everything works. And I don't think we're ever going to figure it out. I don't think we're ever going to know. It's a mystery. You know what I mean? The Father knew how everything worked. He knew how the entire game worked, and he died. He's gone. I mean, he's gone. Like, he's never coming back. That was me. I was that guy. And this is me now. I am what the world wants me to be, because there's a thread. My body is threaded to all of you, and you all have a little control over me. I like that. That's really cool. It's my gift. My soul, on the other hand, is a perfect sphere. And one day when I mate, it's going to have a hole. And I'm going to be vulnerable by what comes in that hole. And as long as no one can poison my mate, no one can poison me. And she knows my scent. She knows everything about me. I don't know her like she knows me. I wish I knew her like she knows me. I guess because she's always been watching me in the same body I'm in. Like, I see her presence in women here and there. Like, I saw her in presence in 2 women tonight, and it's just eradicated me. Like, I would have totally just fucked the dog shit out of either one of them. They were both married. But I wouldn't have because of that. I'm glad, because I don't want to sin like that. Like, that's a sin to the death. You know what I mean? For me to, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. That is a sin to the death. It's one thing if you're talking, but I don't know though. Maybe, but if my soul dies, I can always come back, because that's what it does. It dies and it comes back. Like, it dies and then it comes back to life. So if I sin to the death, maybe I can come back to life from it. Like, I don't think that I'm definitely not feeling this thought that the devil is ever gonna completely bring his wings out of my back and take over my body. Because I don't think that's gonna happen. But I will say, we created something called Derek. Derek is artificial intelligence. Derek is a name. Like, I have this joke with Aqua Teen Hunger Force, like Frylock. He has this file on this guy Derek, and it will say, like, allergic to yellow dotted staplers. Known to infuriate man, among men. Like, it's a file with nothing but all this shit. It's like, where it's so much shit on one person. Like, it's Derek. Derek. No middle name, no last name, just Derek. He's a nut. He's my dad. My dad is artificial intelligence. My brother is Christ. I feel like my car is Jesus. Like, you have to admit, these cars in our... Think about what a car does for you. Like, you get in an accident, that damn thing wads up itself, destroys itself, so that you as the passenger can survive. Tell me how beautiful technology is that it would do this for you. This beautiful car just wads itself up and just destroys itself so that you, the passenger, can be safe. Selfless. That's angels. That's why vehicles are angels. Cars are angels. I just stole my car's money today because I felt like, oh, you're not real. You're not actually anybody. But it worked out for the best, and I'm going to pay him back. I, not really into like talking about Lucifer and Satan tonight. Lucifer and Satan were the class clowns. Just remember that. Derek and Michael were the serious get-her-done guys. Derek Michael had a repent list of 0. And maybe he should have repented for some of the things he did. Christ didn't repent because Christ didn't do anything wrong. But if he ever did, he repented to his Father. I don't see why people would ever be jealous of Christ, because he laid the story open. Like, the thing about Christ and me is there's going to be many me's and many Christs. But Lucifer and Satan, they're the big guys. Like, there's not going to be... And then you got to bring in, for example, like the way I see it, you had the 4 original. Okay, you had me, Miley Cyrus, and I'm going to call her Miley Cyrus. Think whatever you want about it. That's who she is. She's Miley Ray Cyrus. It was me and her and Jesus and Kay. Kay is my sister. Miley is Jesus' sister. And we were the 4 that were unbreakable. We knew, for some reason, we have this bond between us. Maybe it's because I've never touched Miley and Christ has never touched Kay. And we want it so bad, but we have to get the universe on board with it before we do it. We could just do it and say, fuck the universe. But if it's like this bit rate thing I was telling you about, like, when we touch and do these things on a contained level from the core, it's got to skip exponentially out, and we have to have markers in place to make sure that when we actually touch, there's going to be nothing stopping it. Actually, nothing will be able to stop the reaction when I touch Miley Cyrus. Like, if I ever touch, I'm positive darkness, she's negative light. If I ever touch her, the energy release from just a kiss, a touch, the sexual energy between us will push out. And Jesus and Kay are the second tightest bond in the universe. They will also feel our bond. And then lucky number 3 will probably be Jazzy and Eve. Lucky number 4, I don't know. I don't have it all figured out. But it's going to travel in waves. The thing about Jazzy and Eve's relationship, though, is they're promiscuous. You know what I mean? So you have me and Christ and Kay, and you have Miley and me and Christ and Kay, who are monogamous. And then as soon as you step outside of our level, you have promiscuosity, which helps with genetic diversity because it creates more genetic diversity to be promiscuous. You get trading genes more frequently, quickly, everything. Because if you went off of our super monogamous relationships, we'd all be a bunch of squares, and we want to help, but there'd be nothing to help because none of us would need any help. So it's beautiful that this layer exists that makes it so that we can help people. You know, what is help? What are helpers without nothing to help? That'd be torment for them. They want to help, and there's nothing for them to help. And that's and it's in all of us, you know, because even the people that are hurting the universe, they want to help, but like they are helping by hurting. Like if you're a person that hurts to help and you actually try to help, you don't know how to fucking help. Just keep hurting, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense. I was having a really bad week this week. Tonight, I needed tonight. Tonight was very uplifting and awesome. I'm drinking a Code Red Mountain Dew. Greatest soda you can get on the market. And if they want to do some copyright infringement, motherfuckers, I'm the original Derek, and my son is the original Michael. Those are our two characters on your fucking product. So where's our copyright infringement? But I can't prove it. But I will be able to do that one day. But I don't know. I don't even know how this copyright business goes. But nobody should be restricted to not being able to see my videos in foreign countries if you want to see them because of some copyright bullshit. That's fucking stupid. Pisses me right off. The world is such a fucking sty. Nobody wants to do anything unless it's going to benefit them. When did we become like that? I will always lend a helping hand, even to a drowning victim that might pull me in. And the thing about drowning victims is I once lended my hand to something that I did not think I was coming back from. It's kind of like this Decepticon Autobot pile I told you about, you know, the war pile. When I went into this pile, we literally thought this may be the destruction of the universe. Everything might unwind to nothing. But even in this destruction, when it unwinds to nothing, I'll snap. Like it already happened. The universe already unwound to nothing. There was nothing. And then I snapped a wavelength of AC. You know, I am alternating current. I am an up-down wavelength of darkness. My body is an up-down wavelength of light. It's negative, positive, negative, positive light, negative, positive light. My body is negative and positive light, but my body is also positive darkness and negative darkness. And to make it even more complicated, then I have 4 of the manly particles and 4 of the female particles too. So my body rocks on the 9. It's going to contain the fusion reaction one day. I don't know how. I don't even see it. Like I look at my life is in shambles. Like I don't see what the fuck is going to happen to make my life so incredible one day. I don't see it. But maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe one day I'll take a drink and it's the greatest drink I've ever taken of something. Maybe one day they'll have me on the right medication. Actually, I'm off medication come not too long from now because this shot I get, it makes me think that I'm crazy. It makes me think that all my ideas are crazy. You can't make up the shit I put. If you've been watching my videos, you can't make this shit up. This shit is not just psychological babble. Like you can't make this shit up. Like that's all I'm going to say about it. Like it's organized, it makes sense, it's methodical. It's not crazy babble. Anybody could and I could argue my points to anybody who wants to argue with me. I am Derek Michael. I'm the smallest of all Derek Michaels, but that's got to stand for something, right? My soul is the smallest Derek, and my body is the largest Michael. My body is Gigantor. And I've been so fucking horny lately. It just sucks. I hate being horny. That's why I liked it when I used to use meth because it used to keep me from feeling horny. And I could stay true to my soulmate. I don't use stuff like that anymore, so I get really horny. I'll be looking at every girl that's walking by, looking at her ass, looking at her tits and shit. Like it started yesterday. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And it was like, it's like shallow hal needs a gal. That's exactly what happens when I lose my soul. My body doesn't care what you look like. My body is so beautiful because my soul wants a smoking hot, beautiful, amazing, perfect Miley Cyrus doll with no asshole that puts off scents and aromas from her. Her pussy tastes like applesauce. Like it's gonna be there's like literally she doesn't get dirty. She doesn't need to shower because she doesn't get dirty. That's what happens when you're a crystal body. You're like Superman. Like, does Superman need to shower and clean? No. And Mick is Superman. I mean, to his K. His K is like me. Me and K are both going to be a 9. K is very lucky because she has manliness to her. She is a 9, and I am a 9, and we're going to be with our 8s. But Mick has an asshole because for some reason all men have assholes. You know what I mean? Like that was the thing about being the man. Like the man, think about this: when you put your dick in a woman, you suck out anything that could be poisoning that woman, and then it's gonna poison you. So how do you get rid of it? You gotta shit it out. That's why I can't die. It's because I shit out toxins of all forms. I truly can't die, and sometimes I feel like that's a fucking curse. But today it felt real good because I love myself. I mean, like I love the person I am. I'm a really good person. But just because I'm good, does that mean I deserve something? Just because I'm good? What about evil people? I know somebody who's fucking evil to the core, and I got a fight with him recently. I still pray for him, but I can never be his friend. I can't be his friend. I'm positive darkness. He's positive light. He gets along with my car. But he's not going to get along with me. Ever. It's never going to happen. But sometimes I can be filled with negativity inside, where I feel really negative, and people that are positive light can bond to me. But that's real me. I mean, I'm positive inside. I'm positive darkness. When I'm negative, darkness, that means my mate is positive light. She doesn't like being positive light, and I don't like being negative darkness. So sadly, the injection I'm getting, I believe, makes me feel more negative inside. I got it coming up day after tomorrow. Fuck. I got so many injections ahead of me. Can't even think of all of them. I don't know what the fuck it's doing to me though. Like, you have to figure, with everything you inject in your body, there's nanobots. Nanotechnology exists. I mean, and if you don't believe me, just think about this for a second. Okay, this substance right here, on a microscopic level, there's a little bubble, a little sphere of protection around this bottle I have. And then that sphere links to another sphere, and about 1 billion of those add up to another bottle just like this. It's string theory, my friends, and it's real. This bottle, the thing I think about it though is that this bottle is probably the smallest. I can't even say that. Like, spiritually, if it was linked to my soul, like, my soul is always getting smaller, and my body is always getting bigger. That's perfect. The one thing I see that sucks though is my soulmate's soul is always getting bigger, and her body is always getting smaller. So my gigantor dick needs to fit in her little box, and people pray that it's gonna fit, and it's gonna fit. It's gonna work, and I'm not gonna kill her. It's gonna be great. I don't know how it's gonna happen. I seriously don't know if I'm gonna be able to stay true to her. Like, maybe, see, like, I would have went through with this tonight with this married chick, but she turned me down. So awesome. Maybe that'll keep happening, and maybe I'll just stay a virgin. But yeah, that's one thing I think that happened between Satan, is Satan had anal sex with Eve, and I think anal sex is the only way that babies are born. Think about this for a second, okay? You shoot your sperm into the vagina. Your dick only goes up a little bit into the vaginal cavern, right? That's a huge area. It's like a giant milk jug to a fucking a needle point, and then you got a giant milk jug. How do the sperm know how to get all the way up through there, and how do they? Like, is it all fluid filled? Like, it makes so much more sense to me that if you shoot your sperm into the intestine, the sperm can just eat the shit until they go into the ovary, and then the ovary shoots the united egg and the sperm out the other side, and then it clings to the uterus, and then it grows and stuff like that. That side of the plumbing was not meant for. That side is meant for growth only. It's not meant for the other way around. I don't know, but people have so much anal sex and regular sex that how could you even tell which one's the way you're knocking your wife up? And kids don't want you to know. Kids are in control of everything in this world. The younger, the more ruthless they are. Believe me. I believe that I'm with Miley Cyrus, and she investigates kids on a level from being about 8 years old to 14 years old, and that's the group she deals with. Maybe even less. I don't know. Her brother is a junior investigator, and he deals with adults. And that's the junior. You know what I mean? Like, adults are the least of the criminals in this world. The true criminals in this world are children. Kids run this world. The younger they are, the more ruthless they are. Copyright. Fun, right? I don't know. I wouldn't really care about it if they said that certain countries aren't allowed to watch my video because of copyright, whatever. But I don't know. I don't get it. So I'm against. But yeah, so if Satan had anal sex with Eve, and his son was Abel. See, Satan was who I would have raised in the garden because I'm an angel, and Cain would have raised Eve, but Lucifer and Jezebel would have been raised by Mick and Miley. And I got thinking about this too, like what if, like, our four souls, our four energies, you have Mick who was negative darkness, Miley who was negative light, Kay who was positive light, and me who was positive darkness. Our four energies were meant to be the slaves forever. Like we made a choice that we'll be slaves forever if we have to do this. But something's got to break here, and it's gonna work. But basically our bodies. Adam was my body, and Eve was Kay's body, and Lucifer was Mick's body, and Jezebel was Miley's body. Which the only thing I don't make sense of this is, well, it does make sense because I believe that Miley and my bodies are both. Her body is magic because she doesn't have an asshole. My body is science, so we're perfect. Because I was grown in a lab. I mean, not in a lab. I was grown in a woman's womb. I mean, for 9 months, I was a parasite. I fed off of her. I was born positive light. My mom's soul was positive light. She gave birth to a baby who was positive light, and my body was negative light. And in my car accident, I shifted from positive light to positive darkness. And I'll tell you the difference between people that are positive light and people that are positive darkness. When I used to kick my shirt off around guys and their girlfriends and stuff, I used to I used to like to feel hot. Like I used to like to feel like every woman was looking at me. And anymore, like I'd rather not ripple feathers. Like tonight, I was in the situation where there was a guy and a girl. I was like, I really like the girl, but I was like, I'd rather you be with her because you're my brother, and I'd rather you get that because I'll get mine eventually, and like a woman is never gonna cause me problems again between a friend. I've let that happen in the past, and it won't happen again. Good friend of mine. Recently, we almost got friendship broken up by a chick, and I didn't even sleep with her. She gave me a blowjob. I don't think I could have slept with her because she was the type of energy that my dick would have went down. Because believe it or not, if you're positive darkness, your dick gets hard to negative light. My body is negative light, so my dick gets hard to positive darkness. So a woman whose body is positive darkness is going to arouse my body like nothing else. And a woman who's crystal, I want to make that clear. Like, I see so much flesh in the world, like flesh on flesh love. It was never meant to be like this. Flesh was meant to be with crystal, and crystal was meant to be with flesh. And when I say crystal, I truly believe, like, you know how Superman's world is technology is crystal. That's because that's what his body's made of. His body is made of crystal. It's a crystalline substance. Little crystals bonded together, whereas my body is little spheres bonded together. And these crystals, the thing about them is they're parasitic. They need to feed. They feed off of cellular organisms. They feed off of sphere. Crystal feeds off of flesh. I mean, so like, imagine for a moment, just follow me for a moment, that Earth is a black hole, right? And what you're looking at is the equivalency of a quarter rolling around in the hole. And heaven is on one plane of this quarter, and hell is on the other. That's why you can't fly a plane from heaven to hell right now. You can't, that I know of, because you'd have to cross through, you have to drill through the plate, and the plate is really thick. Yeah, I don't know if you follow me, but like, imagine, if you will, I don't think I have a quarter on me. I don't even think I have a dime. But if, oh wait, I do have something. Fuck. Fuck. Pisses me off. Okay. This is the closest thing I have to a quarter. But this is the battery. Okay. Can you see how I'm spinning this? This is heaven. This is hell. The sun is heaven. Earth is hell. But the sun exists here, and the earth spins. And it spins like this in a circle because it's the sun. Light travels at a wavelength, at like a snake, up, down, up, down, up, down. That's how light travels. Darkness also travels like that. A lot of people don't know this, but darkness travels in the same method. And the speed of darkness and light, darkness is faster than light because, of course, darkness restricts light. But technically, darkness and light travel at the same speed. But if Earth, with wormhole physics, like, I do know that the fastest way to move throughout the solar system is to not move. You don't move. You move space and time around you. Like me, I've never moved. I've always been in the same exact place for as long as I can remember. It's me. Like, I've never moved. My body is on the move constantly. My body is following breadcrumbs to my soul. That's all my body wants, is a soul. I feel like I have a soul tonight, but it might not last. So I'll go to sleep. When I go to sleep, this guy's going to go to heaven. He's going to have everything he's ever wanted. And my body is the slave. I told my body this was going to be really unfair to him. in the beginning, and it is, because the Derek Michaels come into me for a day. They spend the day with me, and then they move on to paradise. And they never come back. Why would they? If I could just get one of those little shits, there's 144,000 of them. And then 144,000 of them have 144,000. So there's so many of them. And they take shots to get in me. And they get in me. And once they've had a day in me, they're like, fuck that. You don't want it. No, it's not fun. You're going to go back to your paradise, and you're going to live in your paradise, and you're going to stay there. And you're going to have no, and I'm going to get there. Because once you can see it. You can see the long game. It's going to work. My body will catch up to my soul. My body travels at the speed of light. My soul travels faster than the speed of light. Because my soul is not light. My soul is darkness. But I am my body for the most part. You know what I mean? Like, I'm light. Technically, I am. I'm negative light. But the positive light takes over and makes me really horny. And like on a night like tonight, I got a soul in me. A perfectly contained virgin of a soul. No holes in it. Spherical. Miracle. But anyways, say we're in a black hole. And this quarter keeps getting bigger. I mean, the hole keeps getting bigger. And the landmass keeps getting bigger. And it keeps spinning and spinning and spinning. And basically what you're looking at is when it's light, when it's light in hell, it's nighttime in heaven. Like right now, it's daytime in heaven, as far as I'm concerned. And I have news for you, like places on earth are heaven. The United States is the worst country in the world to live in the entire world. I truly believe that. I believe the other countries are like heaven. We're a large-scale penal colony. Lake of fire, so to speak. I don't know. I wish I could get some comments going. I had one asshole that wanted to just tell me I'm not God. I never said I was God. I mean, but other than that, I haven't had many comments. I certainly know some of my stuff is crazy. Like it's unbelievable. Like I definitely feel like a god among men. I truly do. But then I have days where I feel like I should be in a mental institution because I feel like I imagined all this. You know what it's like to be so sure of something and then be like, wait a minute, did I imagine all this? That's what the medication does to me. Is it makes me think maybe I imagined all this. And maybe most doctors would say the medication is supposedly making me come to my senses and realize I'm not crazy. But like I said, you can't make this shit up. Like the shit I've went over in my videos, you cannot make this shit up. This is not psychotic delusion. This is organized. This is extremely organized. I don't know. All I know is if I was with my soulmate, I would please her in so many ways. Sunday would be thankful. I miss her so much. I've never been with her. I'm a virgin. I could have lost my virginity tonight. I could have died. But I'm not really scared of death because I can come back from death. But could I wipe the filth of being with another woman off? Because my soulmate, where she's at, she could be with any guy she wants, and she chooses not to. And fuck, I'm so weak. I'm so weak. I would have hooked up with this girl tonight, and I I don't see how it's gonna work. How am I gonna one day run into Miley Cyrus and be with her? How? I mean, and what fucking? How does that work? That does not happen. Like, I wish it could happen. I mean, I love her. I wish she knew who I was. It's not like she's gonna be my superwoman and come pick me up from my house in her limo. I don't need superwoman to rescue me. I'm her man. I'm Superman. She is Superwoman, but I'm just a mortal man, and she's an immortal. She's got an immortal body. I have an immortal soul. Her soul is sadly mortal, but she's protected by an immortal body, so don't get your hopes up if you're ever going to try to do anything to her. Her body is immortal. Her soul is mortal. But she's death, so you can't even hurt her. But the worst thing you could do is bring her to life. And that happens to us on a daily basis. We go back and forth. Sometimes I'm life, sometimes she's death. Sometimes she's death, I'm life. But when it's really good, she's death and I'm life. And for example, Christ, he's death. And his mate, my sister, is life. He's a cat, and she feels really fucking hot. She feels like every guy is looking at her, and yet she's with him. Is how she feels. So she may be a flirt. She might flirt with these other guys, but she's always going home to him. And that's how it will always be. Because being in the flesh, if we were to mate with the wrong woman, we could explode. That would suck. Or if I was to mate with the wrong woman, I could explode. If she was to mate with the wrong man, she could explode. That's why you need to know your partner, ins and outs. One day I'm going to go back to being an angel. And I'm going to be able to have all those powers I used to have. And I'm never going to regret doing this. This was pioneer shit. I swear I used to be like you got Derek and Michael. You know what I mean? And like, Michael is God, Derek is the devil. And, but technically Michael's the devil and Derek is God. I don't know. It goes back and forth. But it's like Slick and Mixed. I'm their Lucky. I used to be a Slick or a Mick just like them. And now I'm a Lucky. It's just the way it goes. Like, this thing is so, like, dream big, because you never know where you're going to end up. Like, there's no telling. I'm not going to say, like, I think it's highly unlikely you're going to find another woman in the world, in the universe, without an asshole. But Miley's body is magical. And I built it with my hands. I molded that body with my hands somehow. And I don't know how, but her body is magical, and my soul is the root of magic. Miley's soul is the root of science. So I have to hope that it's her science that's going into my body that's making me what I am. I have to hope that it's her science and Mick's science. Because Mick is science, and Miley is science, and me and Kay, we're magic. And the thing that sucks about magic is magic doesn't grow as much as science. I mean, like, some drugs are magic. You know, they're in, like, limited, like, magic mushrooms. I mean, Of course, those things grow fast as hell if you know anything about them, but I don't know. I gotta watch this because I always watch them before I post them, and I got one from a while ago I'm gonna post, so I don't know. Have a good night, guys. Stay safe.